Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. Monday. So, while we're waiting on people to join, want to remind you to go to coopedup.com. You can see the content I put on there. I just actually posted something about 10 minutes ago about my skincare routine. You can also sign up to get my email updates and all of that. There, let me adjust that. I don't like having the crown molding that you can see it in the background. And if you are on Instagram or TikTok, be sure to follow me there. I'm Cooped Up is my handle there. And wherever you are watching or listening to this, if there's a little notification bell or anything like that, be sure to click on that so that you get notified every time I come live or post stuff or whatever it notifies you about. I actually am not entirely sure what that is, but that is what you can do. Hey, Mama, good to see you. Actually, I'm going to be talking about you on this episode. So sit tight. So how's y'all's day going today? Notice anything different about me? Yes, I will get to that shortly. It's an interesting story. I have been so sleepy today. So I went to bed like normal last night, no big deal, maybe like 10 o'clock. Slept really well, but then we had storms roll through Dallas last night. And really early, like at like 4:30. I don't know what time it was exactly. Thunder, lightning, the whole enchilada, right? It woke me up. Normally they don't wake me up, but it woke me up, and then my body was like, "Okay, we're up. Let's stay up." So I could not go back to sleep. So I laid in bed for like 2 more hours, but I did not wake up. So finally, at about 6 o'clock, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm getting out of bed." And so I got up and just started doing stuff. And so then every time since then, I have sat down at like on a chair or anything like that. Suddenly I'm like a little drowsy. What did I just drop? Anyway, so you like my new T-shirt also? 100% human. I think it has something on the back too. Yeah, it's like a equality sign. I got this at a cute little shop here in Oak Cliff called DLM Supply. I've talked about them before. One of my favorite little men's shops, and they have women's stuff too. And it's from like a local Dallas designer. Somehow the owner knows the guy or whatever. So, hey Michelle, good to see you. Like your icon there. Anyway, so my husband, Todd Martin Koch, is the sweetest, kindest, nicest man, Renaissance guy of the world. So this weekend he did two major things for me. One, so my Jeep Wrangler, the one that we bought recently, I guess we bought it like November, October, whatever, kind of my midlife crisis purchase, to go behind. It's named Butch, and it goes behind the Jeep. I mean, behind the Winnebago when we travel, and then I just drive it around sometimes. It came with this aftermarket muffler exhaust thing that made it. I mean, everyone on the planet knew you were coming when you were in that car, just like that, right? That's exactly what it sounded like. Hated it. It's so loud. It's annoying when you're driving it. Todd ordered me a new muffler. Again, these are things that I did not think 2020 or the pandemic or 2021 even were going to have me talking about in my life. But Todd bought me a muffler, which sat like a tin man in our foyer for about a week, and maybe 2 weeks actually. And then he switched out them. He took off the old one and put the new one on for me, and now it is just like a normal exhaust, quiet. I mean, it still makes a little bit of noise, but it's pretty quiet, nice. Don't sound obnoxious going down the street. So love that. Then that was Saturday. He did that. On Sunday, he cut my hair. I kid you not. This is a Todd Koch haircut. He was scared shitless, by the way. He was just like, he did it with scissors, and we had chip clips, like what you would put on like a bag of Doritos or something, holding my hair. He did Mason's first, and then he did mine. Needed to get that little practice round out first. I bought some shears from Walmart online that were delivered with the groceries on Sunday, and yeah. So so he cut my hair outside. We got a bar stool. I just sat on the back porch, or like on the back patio area, with the towel wrapped around me real tightly, and he just went to town on it. I mainly just wanted the curls to be gone at the back. I was starting to get like a serious case of white trash mullet, achy breaky, big mistakey, business in the front, party in the back, however you want to call it. And so he cut that off, and then he just kept going and trimming, and it looks remarkably good. I don't want to say it actually looks good because that means that I didn't think it was going to. He is such a precise person that I knew that it was going to be okay, and that he was probably going to. I don't know if he watched any videos or what. I have no idea what preparation he took. I was just like, then he was like, I can't believe you trust me to do this. I'm like, well, nothing could look worse than the white trash hair that I had going on. He was calling it the mad scientist because it was getting so big on the sides. I hated the back. The sides didn't bother me. It was the back that was killing me. So my Renaissance man this weekend, oh, my man. That sounds like something my mom would say. Took care of me this weekend, replaced my muffler. No euphemism there. Replaced my muffler and cut my hair. So, and did not even use buzzers. I mean, this was all scissor. He used a little bit of a buzzer just like around the edges, but other than that, he was not clipping it. I was so proud. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. Aaron is saying, I thought my algorithm was drunk when I saw car parts coming across my screen. I kid you not. And then so I'm trying to go sell it on Facebook because this muffler that was on there, it's like a $650 aftermarket muffler. So I'm trying to sell it for like $200, $250. And I offered it up to my friends, and just the ragging that I got on that, people are like, Cooper, you're now selling what? On what? Yeah, okay. So anyway, thought that was funny. And then last Friday, I told you that we were going to watch the finale of last season's Amazing Race, that we got the kids really into it. Our goal for 2020 was to get the kids to stop watching garbage children's shows. I do not want to watch like Lab Rats or Henry Danger or any of those Saved by the Bell kind of bullshit type things, which that doesn't exist anymore. But which I think they're rebooting it though, actually for the Peacock Network, so maybe it does. But I suspect it's more for my age than my kids' age. So we've been trying to get them into shows that we like, that we thought they would like. CSI Miami is one of those that we have watched. Kids adore that show. Claire's always talking about, do you think they sent SWAT in? Like she hears about something in the news, and she's totally, Horatio Kane. That was not a good angle. So Amazing Race, though, is one of the shows. RuPaul's Drag Race is one of the shows that we've always watched as a family. Yeah, that's how you know it's a gay family. And which I'll get to that in a moment too. Oh, by the way, I meant to stop, pause, go back to the haircut. So some people are like, oh, I love at-home haircuts. They're the best. I will tell you, I may have some PTSD about an at-home haircut due to the woman I say hi to at the top of the show every time. My mother, Cheryl Carson, who I love, cannot cut hair for shit. Sorry, Mama, you know this. If you look at the side of my mother's refrigerator, there is 3 pictures. One of me, one of my sister Monica, who is 2 years younger than me, and one of my little brother Houston, who is 13 years younger than me. So there's an 11-year gap between Monica and Houston, right? All of us have the exact fucking haircut, straight across. Just because we all have this corn silk, I have a gazillion pieces of hair, but they are fine corn silk, like floppy. So all of our hair comes straight down, just cut straight across. And sometimes it's kind of like straight across like this, right? Like maybe not quite straight, just straight across. In 13 years, my mother could not come up with another haircut between me and my little brother. We have the exact same haircut in all 3 of these pictures. And I think that the first professional haircut I got, I may have had to pay for myself. I am not certain on that, but that memory sticks in my mind as truth. So we're going to go with that as the truth. But yeah, so getting the at-home haircut situation with Todd, I mean, I know I could trust Todd, and I was just going to go with God on that. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to sweat it. I didn't have a mirror. I didn't want to see what was happening. I didn't want to see the process. I wanted to see just the finished product. And I bet he was nervous a little bit too, because he knows hair and teeth are like and skin are like a big part of my personality. So I feel badly for him of having to subject him to that. But did a great job. It looks good. So, and my mom's like, no, you were a toddler. Yeah. And Eric said, my mother's mom was the worst hair cutter. My poor mom and aunts have the most god awful school portrait. Yes. Oh, and Ryan Beatty has the same issue at home, and mom's laughing at all of this, by the way. So she's in on the joke. Um, so anyway, okay, I wanted to say that. I forgot to say it before. So back to Amazing Race though. So we've gotten into Amazing Race with the kids, and we just finished on Friday the final episode of the most recent season. Where they, and spoiler alert, I don't think you're gonna watch it. And if I'm spoiling it for you at this point, you're doomed anyway. So the gays win it, which of course the gays always win it, right? We're organized, we're driven, we're very competitive. A lot of type A personalities. So cute. Will and James are their names. They are so adorable. They talk about wanting this money to kind of restart their lives, to adopt kids. Turns out Will is adopted himself. I went down a total rabbit hole and like stalked them on Instagram, went to their YouTube channel, and even watched like their audition video for Amazing Race. Will has auditioned 9 times, by the way. James has auditioned like 9 times. Will is his cutie pie little blonde boyfriend who's cute. But anyway, so it finishes the final episode, and I'm one of these people. I've always been like, when I watch Amazing Race, like I have to stand up. I'm like, what's gonna? Oh my god, who's coming through? Like all that manufactured drama and suspense just plays me like a fucking fiddle. Works so well on me. So I am watching this and I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And they come running out first, and I just immediately just wet face, just and the kids, I've told you this. Half the time, their favorite part of any show is watching me have an emotional breakdown watching it. So, and happy stuff like that always does it for me. So I watched that, and then then Will is like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Gets on one knee and pulls a ring out of his fanny pack, proposes right there in the Superdome. Is that what it's called? The Mercedes Superdome in New Orleans, right on the 50-yard line. It was amazing, wonderful, wonderful thing. Todd and I were talking though. That last clue was like, go to where the Saints go marching in. I don't think we would have won. I don't know that I would have immediately said Saints, New Orleans Saints. Is that? I don't even know if that's their actual. I know the Saints is the name. Is it the New Orleans Saints? I probably would have ended up back on like Bourbon Street or something, honestly. But we got it, and I was just crying. And even when the engagement part of it came on, the proposal, even Todd started crying, and the kids were like, "Oh, even Papa's crying!" And then they're like, "Okay, this must be a big deal." Papa's crying, and I'm just like, and I always tell them this. I was like, because we didn't see things like this when we were kids. There was not stuff like this on television. Visibility is representation is important. I go into that headspace with them. So that was our Amazing Race thing. So let's see what y'all say real quick. Mike made me cut his hair once. I couldn't stop laughing. It's what my sister says. And and my mom remembers Monica giving Mike that. So, and yes, ring out of his fanny pack, Amy is saying, yeah, immediately Mason, I think, or no, Claire goes, what if they didn't win? What was he going to do then? What if they didn't win? Just Gary going to propose at second place? Like, I don't know. So fortunately, it all worked out. I'm guessing he would not have proposed there if that were the case. I loved them. I thought they were so sweet. The only thing that drove me nuts about them, and this drives me nuts about just people in general nowadays, when did babe become like the official term of endearment for like your boyfriend, your husband, your significant other? Hey, babe, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you got this, babe. Yeah, babe. It drives me nuts. I hear it all the time now, and I feel like it's a new thing. Like, I don't feel like people our age call each other babe. Like, I feel like it's a younger person thing. Just, hey, babe. I don't care for it. It drives me nuts. But it was a good episode. Engagement at the end and everything. What else? Another show that we're watching, and I don't know if y'all are, or if y'all are RuPaul fans or not, but Michelle saying it's a Cher thing, babe. That's my horrible Cher impression, by the way. I sound more like Mr. Ed than Cher when I do Cher. They should actually ban me. The gay mafia should ban me from doing Cher impersonations. They should threaten to take away my seat at the board of the gays. They should, I mean, just membership card revoked, everything. I cannot do um, a Cher impersonation. And Sandy's like, Bay, what about Bay? I think that those are kind of from the same thing. I don't know, maybe Bay turned into Babe, because Bay, I don't know where, did that come from, like a Beyonce album or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, so we're watching RuPaul's Drag Races also as well. And they had, and this is a spoiler alert too, I'm going to talk about who lost, sort of. Um, uh, so there are some rules, by the way. When you go on RuPaul's Drag Race, there are some rules that you need to adhere to. These are not official rules of the show. These are not anything that's been written down. But if you are a fan in any way of the show and you get on that show, these are things you need to know how to do. You need to know how to fucking sew, first of all. Learn how to sew. Even if it's just a straight stitch, how to put it on the thread on the machine, all that. It's not that hard. I took sewing lessons. After day one, I was making stuff, right? Even if it's just not a ball gown, anything like that, just a straight stitch is all you need. So many of these bitches come on the show and do not know how to sew, and then they're in a challenge and they're hot gluing their stuff together, and it always falls apart. It always looks like shit. So learn to sew. Learn or plan what your Snatch Game character is going to be. Every season of RuPaul's Drag Race, when they get down to about 8 contestants, Snatch Game is the game that they're going to play, and you have to impersonate a celebrity, and you have to do it well. That is where you get the smart queens and just the look queens. They totally get separated right there. And then the third one, and this is the one that was about this episode we just watched. Always, always, always make sure that your look, especially your runway look, but just in general now because of the twist of this season, make sure your look has a tear off bottom. So in case you need to lip sync for your life or do something like that, that you have the ability to do that. The issue with this one, this past episode, this one who looks like a Bob Mackie Barbie doll, gorgeous, 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 nothing behind it though, gets out there and then has to do a lip sync for her life to Crystal Waters' 100% Pure Love, one of the greatest songs of all time. Like that is a top 10 song for me. I'll put that song in the same category as Whitney, MJ, Adele. Like that song, that song, it may just be the memories associated with it. It was like real hot when I came out. Love that song. Like I can name that song in like 2 notes. But she comes out and she is in a full length, like with dragons on the side, Bob Mackie thing, a lot of hair and all that stuff. And so she can only do this. The other one had on, like, I think she was able to tear the bottom off of it or something. And by the way, the contest was, the theme of this episode was trains. So everything had to have a really long train on it, which also hampers your ability to lip sync for your life. So what was her, Denali is the queen that she went against, the ice queen, as she will, because she's a former a professional ice dancer or ice skater, I don't know. Tears off the bottom of her thing and she looks like a peacock, tears off the bottom of it and just tears up that stage, wins the whole lip sync for your life. The other one can't move because she's so perfect and tucked in. Also, get over your perfectionisms. Rue doesn't want to see that. Michelle doesn't want to see that. None of them want to see you perfect. They want to see you messy. They want to see you all of this. So anyway, that is just something that drives me nuts about rules of RuPaul's Drag Race. So let me see what y'all are saying here. My sister is saying, us old folks call each other mom, dad, papa. That creeps me out too. I don't like, I think my grandparents, I think Mamu and Stan called each other, like to us, mother and father. Like they said, mother, what was the blah, blah, blah? Father? That creeped me out. I don't like that either. Eric is saying, I am not going to learn to sew. Mark will make me sew my own clothes if I do. No, you just don't get that good at it. I sew placemats. I fix things. I can make a set of drapes. Here's the issue with sewing, actually, and you could tell Mark this, and Todd can attest to this as well. Sewing, you don't sew to save money. You sew to get exactly what you want. Half the time, the shit I make by sewing it, it's like, oh, those placemats, if I bought them at Pottery Barn, would be $10 each. So let me make them for $40 each instead. I kid you not. That is the case. So you don't sew to save money. Maybe at some point you did, or I don't know. Maybe there wasn't the same availability as before. But yeah, Sandy failed sewing in home ec in the 9th grade. And so did my mom. Well, I didn't take it in home ec. I paid money to take a sewing class, and it worked. I mean, I don't do it often, but so it's a good thing. And Sandy's son had to learn sewing because she wasn't going to do it. It's a really good skill to have. So, and as I teased also in the caption for today's, my kids, they're smart and they're smart asses, think that they have found a loophole in the parent-child relationship. And I'm going to tell you what it is. So my children have figured out, or in their minds, they have figured out that if we call to them or we talk to them, we're like, hey, you need to do this, or you need to unload the dishwasher, or take the trash out, or have you taken a shower yet, or whatever, any of these things that we thought, I'm reading. And they think that reading is a get out of jail card. And it may have been at one point, I'm reading. You know, no parent wants to be that asshole. It's like, well, stop fucking reading and take out the trash, or stop me. It's like, okay, when you get done, blah, blah, blah. So they think they figured it out. It's not working anymore, though. Over the weekend, I realized, I was like, every fucking time I ask them to do a damn thing, they say they're reading. And I know they're not reading. We don't have that many books in the house. We have a lot of books in the house, but not enough for them to avoid every chore. So, yeah. So that's the loophole. My children think that we're not willing to tear them away from literacy for child labor, but they were wrong. So, two other things, both ads randomly. So we're watching the TV this weekend, and I don't know if you've seen this ad, but there's this ad, and this woman is like doing yoga, and she lifts her leg up, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, and then she does something else and splits her legs open. Oh, she has a singing vagina. I kid you not. And I'm like, what? And it's for yeast infection medicine, and it's like, let your lady part sing again. So it wasn't that deliberate. They're actually very much trying to hide what it's about. They were just like, the top yeast infection medication possible. I'm watching it with the kids. I think it was Mason, just belly laugh, busted out like, was that her vagina laughing? I was like, yes. And Claire's like, why? What is yeast infection? And then I had to explain what a yeast infection was. So basically, I wish Carrie were watching right now, because didn't she get a yeast infection in her belly button from eating too much mango or something? I don't know. That was some weird, really random story. What was the wasn't there a show where someone got a sexually transmitted disease by riding a tractor, allegedly? Like her boyfriend convinced her. Was that on Friends or something? I can't remember that. There's something in my mind about that, but that's not the. But the no. Eric is saying, oh my God, stop it with that kind of talk. Yes. So this, I don't want to hear the singing either. It was on the commercial and it busts out like 4 or 5 times in a row. I think we were watching HGTV, maybe. We were watching the new Fixer to Fabulous or something. It's a new show that's on. We just watched it for the first time this weekend. But a singing vagina, I kid you not. Isn't I just what kind of TV y'all watching in Dallas? Crystal said, "You're gonna see it now. I promise. You're gonna see it now." Don't. My mom knows. She says I hate that commercial. She knows what it is. So what is it for? And Eric has to mute them when they come on. Have you had that unfresh feeling? No, man. You're a gold star gay. I bet you're like me. I don't know you. I don't know this specific fact about you, but I assume that you are a gold star gay as well. So And they oh, that funny. And then I started getting an ad this morning. I'm gonna take a little sip before I talk about this. I saw an ad this morning in my social feeds. Oh, the gonorrhea from a tractor is Seinfeld. I knew it was something like that. Yes. Got gonorrhea from a tractor, supposedly. So I started getting an ad today on my social media feeds for something called Cutback Coach. Cutback Coach. Basically, this is an app that when you drink too much, it's like Noom for boozers. It uses psychology. I went and looked at the website about it and all that stuff. Basically, it is an app on your phone that you pay for, by the way. You pay like a monthly fee. It's like the first 15 days are free, and then it's a monthly free. So like Noom or Weight Watchers or something like that. But the entire point of it is to identify your relationship with alcohol and help you cut back. And the example they used was, how many drinks per night do you have? And the person wrote 6, which I'm not gonna lie, that may be not too far off, maybe 4 for me. I don't know. Maybe a little bit more later lately. I've been maybe doing, I do need, maybe it knows something about me. Maybe Todd's been looking at it. Because you know that your friends and family members' search history has as great of an impact on what you see as an ad on social media as anything that you have searched for, because they assume that you're in that circle of influence. We've talked about this before. And so maybe Todd is like, how do I get my husband to cut back? But just randomly started showing up today. Like, I don't, maybe they triggered ads to start on the 25th of January to show it. But it's like, I cut back 30%. I cut back on my drinking 30%. Yes. And Sandy saying, now you're going to have ads for yeast infections and STDs. I hate to tell you this, but so are you. Now that I've said this and it's in the closed captioning and we're all talking about it, it's going to, yes. And if you need to think about it, you need it. Yes. Cutback Coach. Yeah. Y'all should look it up. It is like, I was like, wow, that exists. And maybe it's for people who maybe alcohol, they want to get off of it or lessen it. Is that even the right English? But they have not. I don't want to cut back, damn it. That's what Michelle. Same here. And one of the video, it's like, I save $75 a week by not drinking as much. I'm like, how much are you drinking that you're spending $75 a week on your cutback? Like, she didn't say I don't drink anymore. She says I've cut back enough that I save $75 a week on my budget. I'm like, that is, you may need like Betty Ford. You may need a meeting in a church basement with some donuts and coffee. That may be what you need, not some app, Noom-like, Weight Watchers-like app to help you cut back a little bit. So anyway, yes, I know. I do not want to cut back. So, alrighty. There's something else that just came to mind, and I cannot think of what it was. It'll come to me the minute I sign off. But let me look real quick in the comments and see if I've missed anything. Let me know. I don't see anything off the top of my head. Michelle was saying, my mother taught me how to sew. I used to make clothes for myself, but my friends would want to buy them before I could wear them. Oh, yeah. And like I said, sometimes it's cheaper to just buy them instead of actually make them. Yeah, I don't see it. So, alrighty. Well, with that, if she drinks in a restaurant or a bar, it's easy to spend $75. I agree with that. But that's my thing. So if you cut back one night, maybe, but how much are you drinking? How much are you going out if you are cutting back and your bottom line is still $75 off? Like, I don't know. What do I think about trans people being allowed back in the military? Here's what I think about that. First of all, I'll leave that up on the screen so you see what I'm talking about. First of all, I think that anyone who wants to serve our country, who has the guts to do it, who has the patriotism to do it or whatever, should be allowed to do it, first of all. That's just the baseline for it. And to go through the bullshit that they've had to go through by being allowed and banned and all this stuff and still wanting to do it, that level of fresh hell that they're having to go through. I say I support them 100% on that. Secondly, we are talking about less than 1% of active duty forces. So say I think the stat I saw today is there's like 15,000 maybe that are at like on a high estimation of trans people who are active duty in the military out of over 1.5 million people who are Americans who are active duty in America, right? So that amounts to 1%, and that's all of it. So then let's split that by each of the armed branches, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. That's not even accounting for like National Guard and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about a quarter of a percentage point. So 0.25%, like rounding error. Like you could round that down to 0 if that was what you were rounding. That's what we're talking. So that's this hullabaloo. I do not understand it. And everyone's like, well, they might be taking positions away from women who, because their genetics are allowing them to be stronger and get these new positions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that may happen. I don't know either way if that happens or not. But you know what? We are still talking about like less than 1%. If you are in the military and you are losing your job simply because the other person has different hormones than you need to do some soul searching about your level of aptitude, attitude, all of this kind of stuff too. So that is my thing on that. Can you tell that I'm a little fired up about this? And then people start piling on about athletics as well, about how athletes or girl athletes are being disadvantaged because boys are turning into girls and then going into track and wrestling and stuff and have a natural advantage is what they're saying. Again, physiologically, that may be the case. How often, first of all, does that actually happen? Very rarely. And I looked up the stats today on this too, because I was kind of in a old Facebook argument with someone about this. In the NCAA, the college sports thing, there are something like 200,000 women participating in college sports. 200,000. Of those, 50 or less are trans. So we're talking about, in that case, it is like 0. What's the math on that? I think it was like 0.0025. I mean, it was something where like you had to go a couple of digits past the decimal before you even started seeing a number. That is just too big of a deal about such a small thing, and victimizing a group of people. My trans friends are some of the kindest, sweetest, nicest, most apologetic, honestly, for maybe making other people uncomfortable or not threatening them, but making them feel out of sorts or whatever. Like just the kindest people. So I'm like, leave them the fuck alone. If they want to serve in the military, if they want to put their life on the line so that I have the freedoms I have, I say, go for it. I will help you sign up. I will drive you to the Air Force Base or the Army base or whatever, the Naval Yard. I don't know where I'm getting kind of in over my head about where these places are called, but yes. Anyway, so that's the soapbox portion of today's episode. Aaron is saying, I just added up how much we spend per week on wine. That's why I've had to, I don't lie. I drink cheap wine. I drink the double bottles. This is Woodbridge lightly oaked Chardonnay. It's about as cheap as I can go. I think it's about $12 a bottle. It's about as cheap as I can go before. I can't drink anything cheaper than this because then I get headaches and night sweats. So that's where this is. And I have to do a apple cider vinegar chaser at the end of the night to kind of help with the sugar levels. I know. Maybe I do need cutback coach. Lord. And Erica said, I don't think I'll be adding up my liquor expenses anytime soon. I always use cash in a liquor store. I do not need that paper trail. Yeah, who knows? If you decide to go into public service, who knows what bullshit. I've already ruined my life with this. If I ever want to run for something, you're either going to love all of this or this is the detriment to my political aspirations. So my wife has moved to Franzia. See, I cannot, that is, That's headache. I get a headache even reading your comment about Francia. So, and I drink out of Aaron's, and I drink out of a box, a lot of boxes. So here's the thing. I'm gonna go over a little bit. I tried we went to the black box, the Sauvignon Blanc, which I do like a lot. It checked all the box. My issue with drinking out of the box is that I did not have a good sense of quantity. And I ended up drinking. So we were going through a box is the equivalent of 4 bottles of wine, right? We were going through a box. We could go through 2 boxes in 3 days, I think is how that split up. So it was the equivalent of us having basically 3 bottles of wine every night. And that was just crossing the line. So Todd and I agreed that we need to stop drinking from the box because we need a little bit more of a concrete visual on the quantity that we were consuming. So, and Eric had to look up what a gold star gay is, and he is one. Yes. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Whatever. Patriotism, hand on your heart. So, and Costco Kirkland has some surprisingly good house wine. Carrie has been telling me about Kirkland's brands of vodka and all of that. Supposedly these are all the best. And Kroger is doing 6 bottles for 20% off until Wednesday. Girl, you did not need to tell me that. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm gonna say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watch this. Thank you. This is my therapy. Don't shoot yourself to death. Take care of yourself. Just stay away from people still. The numbers are high again. So stay away from people. Those of us who have been fortunate enough to find a place to get a vaccine, I think that we are on the home stretch. Hopefully, we still need to take safety precautions and stay away from people. But at least I'm not worried about dying anymore. That is a big relief. And with that, I'm going to see you tomorrow for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say, talk to you later. Bye.